going to be reading today Broken Strings by Eric Walters and Kacer. Hopefully I said those names correct. To my writing partner, Kathy, your understanding, passion, perspective, and in-depth background knowledge made this such a moving writing process. Eric. For Vanessa and Jeremy, my newest children, Kathy. Chapter 1. The bell sounded. People jumped to their feet and gathered their things. And don't forget there's a unit test on Friday, Mr. Herman, our math teacher, called out over the noise. A collective of groans rose from the class. Ugh! Some people started to argue for a postponement till Monday to give them more time to study. On any other day, I would have stuck around and joined in the argument, but not today. Today, I needed to get out of the classroom as fast as I could. I had something more important to think about than a math test. I threw my books into the bag and joined the crowd funneling out of the room. I had gone only a few steps when I almost bumped into Natasha, my best friend. She flashed me a big smile. Smiling was the last thing on my mind. Are you ready, Shuri? Natasha asked. No! We don't have to go, she said. We could go to the mall, get some soda, maybe buy something. And not just look at the cast list? It'll be there tomorrow. Tosh, I've been waiting all week. Do you really think I could wait another day? Patience is a virtue. This coming from you, the least patient person I know, I asked. Okay, you're right, and I was just joking. Let's go and look. The hallway was packed, and it felt as if we were salmon fighting our way upstream. We were the largest junior high in New Jersey, but the building didn't seem big enough to hold all 1,600 of us, who call this place a home away from home. We squirmed and shuffled our way forward. You know, you have nothing to worry about, Natasha said. Thanks, neither do you. Oh, I'm not worried, Shuri. You know that. Natasha and I have been friends and pretty much inseparable since 3rd grade, like 2 peas in a pod, or peanut butter and jam. But there was a big difference between us. Natasha has never been in a school show before. In fact, she has only tried out this time because I practically dragged her to auditions. It really didn't matter to her whether she got a part or not. The problem was for me. It mattered way too much. Miss Ramsey really likes you, she pointed out. I knew she was trying to reassure me. She likes everybody, I said. It's more than that. I think she sees herself when she looks at you. I laughed, like she's looking in some sort of funhouse mirror. Miss Ramsey was our drama teacher. She was in her early 30s, but looked a lot younger. She was blonde and slim and moved in the silky smooth way, like someone who had years of dance training. We couldn't have been more different in appearance, but I guess I had the same way of moving, thanks to my own dancing classes. I didn't mean the way you look, Natasha continued. Miss Ramsey is so beautiful. Geez, thanks. Come on, you know what I mean. You're really pretty, but not like her. You look more like me. Well, true. We did look a lot alike, even though my family was Eastern European and Jewish, and Natasha's was Portuguese and Catholic. But what the heck was going on? I mean, she sees you as being talented like her. Thanks, Tosh. Now that was a compliment. Before becoming a drama teacher, Miss Ramsey had been in some off-Broadway production. She had great stories to tell. Like the time she auditioned for Harold Prince, one of the greatest Broadway directors of all times. Or the time she met Kristen Sherowith in an audition, and she got to ask her what it felt like to win a Tony Award for her role in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Miss Ramsey tossed those stories out like pieces of confetti, and I grabbed each and every one of them. She could act, she could dance, and she could sing! A real triple threat. It was great to have her here teaching us, and awful at the same time. If someone with that much talent couldn't make it as a professional actor and end up teaching junior high school drama, then what chance did anyone have? What chance did I have, especially if I didn't get the part today? My dream was to perform in front of thousands of people. Something always happened to me when I stepped in front of an audience. Sure, I was nervous. Every performer I talked to got butterflies, some worse than others. But for me, the nerves would fade away and a rush of excitement would take over, like being at a firework display or being part of the fireworks. The first time I felt that, I knew I wanted to be a performer. My father always joked that I could dance and sing before I could even walk and talk. I had been taking dance lessons, singing lessons, piano lessons for as long as I can remember, and for the last 2 years I added acting lessons as well. My parents have been so encouraging, not just paying for everything and driving me to the lessons and competitions and recitals and plays, but always being there. They are the best. They really are. Still, I was pretty sure they would be happier if I had been learning towards something more traditional in terms of career. My brother Adam, who's 8 years older than me, was following my mother's footsteps. And in pre-med at Rider University, my father was an accountant. He'd taken over his father, Mizam Dean's business in Manhattan. But my father was also the musical one in the family. He had always wanted to learn an instrument, but my grandfather had always said no. Dad claimed he was the only Jewish kid on the planet whose parents hadn't let him into violin or piano lessons, and he didn't have a bad voice. Well, he didn't have an untrained bad voice. I guess I got the musical bug from him. We turned down the hallway towards the drama department. The cast list was supposed to be posted on the wall outside the auditorium. Up ahead, I saw a crowd gathered around the bulletin board. I came to a dead stop, my heart pounding out of control. "Okay, Sherry, take a deep breath. Relax," Natasha said. "Easy for you to say." We joined the crowd at the back. So many people had tried out. Some schools were football schools, some were basketball schools. Our school was a musical school. Of course, we had all the sports as well, but we were known as junior high that put on a big musical. We had a great reputation, and that was one of the reasons why Miss Ramsey had come to teach here. Last year, we had put on a choir's line. Of course, I didn't get one of the leads, but I did end up with a featured spot, which was pretty amazing for a student in 7th grade. And I also ended up being the understudy for 2 of the supporting roles. I didn't actually get a chance to play either of them during the running, but people who heard me sing in rehearsal said I was better than the people who did perform. This year, production was going to be The Fiddler on the Roof, and the part I wanted was Holdy, one of the daughters. Not only did she sing Matchmaker, Matchmaker in the Sisters Trio, but she had the most beautiful, haunting solo in the whole production as far as I was concerned. A song called Far From the Home I Love. Yep, Holdy was the part I was holding my breath for. As we shuffled forward, I watched the people in front. Some would look at the list and come away looking pretty upset. Others would jump up and down and shriek with joy screams. Each joy scream, I knew a part was gone. And each disappointed face, I knew another person had been eliminated from the competition for the remaining roles. Was it wrong that I was secretly happy to see those faces? Not that anyone could tell what I was thinking or feeling. We got closer to the front, closer to the list. I started to think that I understood what it would be like to walk along the corridor on the death row, moving towards my execution. Okay, a little dramatic, but I was more than a little dramatic. Moorhead let out a yell, "I got a part!" and pumped his fist in the air. I couldn't help but smile. Moorhead and I had acted together before, and he was talented. I wasn't surprised at all. He worked his way to the back while crowds of people continued to slap him on the back and offer their congratulations. "What part?" I asked as he came to us. "Paracheat. I'm the Paracheat, the scholar," she says, slightly running a hand through his jet-back hair. "You'll do a great job." Thanks so much, Sherry." If I got the part of Holdy, then he would be playing my stage husband. It wasn't like there was any big romance between the 2 characters, just some hand-holding and staring into each other's eyes. I could do that, like Molden. I liked Molden. He was funny and pretty smart. We were getting close to the front, and I realized that I was shoulder to shoulder with Mindy McColden. We gave each other a profound nod and a slight polite smile. Mindy was a year older than me, but we were in the same dance committee, and we took private lessons from the same vocal coach. She used to be nice to me, but that was before we started competing for the same dance parts. My applause at recitals began to rival hers. At our last recital, she had sung Destiny's Child song. Why does everybody think they can do Beyonce? Well, really, she did a pretty good job. Me, I went old school and sang Arthur Franklin classic, and the audience went wild. I even got a standing ovation. That was when Minnie pretty much stopped talking to me. Completely. We both knew it was either going to be me or her to snag the heart of Goldie. She was a better dancer, but I was a better singer. I'd proven that. The big advantage she had was that she was in 9th grade and I was in 8th. Our school had a tradition of giving leading roles to seniors. The crowd was moving forward, and again suddenly we were right in front of the list. I felt sweat running down my sides and my hands were getting clammy. Tash was wrong. I did have a lot to worry about. Oh, why did Miss Ramsey choose Fiddler on the Roof when there were so many other incredible musicals with so many good parts to choose from? I knew I shouldn't complain. At least we're getting to stage a show. In the first months following 9/11, some people said we shouldn't have a production at this year. I wasn't sure if they thought it was disrespectful or because they didn't think large groups of kids should be together in the same place, like we made too good of a target. It had been almost 5 months since the attack since the towers have fallen. In some way, it seemed like yesterday, in others, it seemed forever ago, or in a way, as if it never happened at all. Then you turn on the TV and see people cleaning up at Ground Zero. Cranes loading, dump trucks taking away concrete, tangled metal beams, and other things. Most of the time I didn't really think about it much, but there was still an uneasiness in people. It hung in the air like black smoke that had risen from the site. People wondered if things would ever be the same again. I guess that was putting on a show was really about it for us. Trying to make things the same as they were before in the end. Our school had decided that the show would help us heal from the sadness of the terrible times. Someone flipped the page of the list and, "I'm an Ensemble!" Natasha cried out and she added a delighted little shriek. "Congratulations!" I was happy for her. I just wanted her to get to the sheets and show the rest of the roles, including the one I was after. Natasha lifted the page now and featured player roles came into view. The first lesser-known male roles and the two female parts that technically I could have gotten. Holden's younger sister. I let out the breath that I was holding, grateful and relieved that my name wasn't on any of them. Somebody turned another page and more roles appeared, bigger ones, including Tezzi and Chava, the two other sisters. My name was absent again. Those had been my safety spots. They also got to sing matchmaker. But they had gone to other people. There was only 3 major female roles. "Come on," I prayed. "Somebody turn the page!" I could feel my heart pounding, and I started winding my long, curly hair around my finger. A nervous habit. Then I heard another shriek. I knew that voice. It was Mindy. She was jumping up and down like she had just won the Tony Award instead of some part in a junior high musical. Her friends crowded her and hugged her and added to their shrieks. That's when I saw her name beside the role. Beside my role. Mindy had been given the best part of Holdie. The daughter with the very best solo. I felt numb. I wasn't the lead. I wasn't one of the lesser sister roles. I wasn't in the ensemble. I was nothing. How could that be possible? "Shuri, you're in. You gotta lead!" Natasha screamed and threw her arms around me. Had I read it wrong? I peered at the list again and saw my name. Sherry Berman, coming into focus. "You're Goldie!" Natasha yelled. "You got a lead role, Goldie!" Goldie was the mother, the wife of the male lead, Tevi. Yes, technically she was also a lead, but while she sang in a couple duets, she had no solo. And no real standout moments on stage. I'm playing Mindy's mother. I'm playing everybody's mother. I'm playing an old Jewish woman who has no solo. Natasha was still squealing and jumping up and down, but I wasn't nearly as happy as she was for me. That's the end of chapter 1. Bye.